What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today is Wednesday, which of course means it's time for another Western New York Wednesday here on the channel. And this week I am once again posting two separate Western New York Wednesday reviews, both of which come from the Frequentem Brewing Company, and they are headquartered in Canandaigua, New York. And the first one I have is their black lager. So this is a German-style black lager, aka a Schwarzbier, that comes in at 4.8% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed. Time of review. This can is just under 6 weeks old. So the reason that I'm posting two Western New York Wednesday reviews this week, once again, I did it a couple of weeks back. We're doing another, I guess you would call it Western New York Wednesday double feature, is because Frequentem about a month ago opened up a brand new location in downtown Buffalo, New York. So they are now here in Buffalo. So I wanted to kind of feature a couple of their beers, and we're going to do so by posting two reviews today. I'm going to review this one, and then later on I'm going to review one of their Just Fruits, which is a heavily fruited sour series. And the name is appropriate because they basically brew a kettle sour and they blend it with fruit puree, no other adjuncts, and it's one of my favorite heavily fruited sour series, period. It's fantastic. However, I wanted to review this one first because, full disclosure, I've had it before at the brewery in Canandaigua, and it was quite tasty. One of the better American brewed black lagers I have ever had, and the fact that I saw it in cans, I was like, yep, we're going to review this one. Now, I've reviewed about, I don't know, 5 or 6 beers from Frequentem on the channel over the last couple of years. Shout out to a couple very good friends of mine and fellow beer tubers, Dan and Mike over at FLX Beer Reviews. They turned me on to Frequentem. It's one of Mike's favorite breweries, period. I have not been to the new brewery here in the Buffalo, New York area yet, but in the very near future, I'm going to check it out. But I wanted to go with this one because I remember really enjoying it. And it's cool to, you know, review something like this and then go to the other end of the extreme, go from, like, you know, a German lager to a heavily fruited sour. So we're going to, you know, basically review both ends of the spectrum as far as like craft beer goes. So yeah, anyway, we're going to give a pour into the glass here and see what we got going on. So yeah, it's pouring out like a dark lager for sure. Go a little aggressive here at the end and try to conjure up a head to some degree. Maybe, yeah, I didn't go too aggressive. That's actually perfect. Now, the label itself, you can't read it. It just says black lager on it. But, yeah, you, or maybe it'll come off better on camera. But, yeah, you can't really see it. It's just a black label. Anyway, this pours out very akin to like a Czech style, say, a dark lager. It's more, so on camera, it's going to probably look maybe very dark brown or even pitch black. Hold it up to the light, and what I'm seeing in person is a very deep, almost like cola color. Has like a very deep, like red into brown, almost copper-esque, but even darker than that. Has about a finger and a half of this straight up tan-colored head. You know, the head itself is, you know, looks kind of soap sudsy, a little bit of creaminess to it. Good clarity, obviously, even though it's dark, I can see my hand through the other side. It is a lager. It plays the role of what you're kind of looking for when it comes to this style. And like I said, you know, I don't know how it's got, I'm curious to see how it's going to come off on camera because it definitely, it's not a black lager. Let's just say from the actual, you know, color and appearance. It's more of like a dark brown lager. Anyway, let's get a nose. Oh my God, it smells so good. So basically, the reason I love darker lagers, especially when it comes to the German lagers and the Czech lagers, the main reason is I feel like they do a really good job of like bringing those characters you get in like porters, stouts, brown ales, and just, you do it in lager form. And that's more of my jam when it comes to tasting, you know, just flavor, like tasting notes and whatnot. Like that's what I like. I like that, you know, brown bread, toasted brown bread, caramel, you know, a little bit of cocoa, chocolate, coffee. And that's what these do. And that's what this one is doing in the nose. There's a nice cocoa powder. Yeah, there's definite like coffee. There's a nice like mild roasted quality. This is toasty and roasty. It's not like, you know, as intense as like a porter or stout would be with the roasted malts. A little bit of a fruitiness here too, like a slight, like maybe like a plum. I'd say toasted brown bread, cocoa, coffee, or mild roasted malt. Maybe a touch of like a caramel, and then there's this nice like, kind of like grassy and slightly spicious. I guess I wanted to say spicy and herbaceous, and I just said spicious. We make up words here on the Beer Patrol, is what we do, because the English language is not my friend. But yeah, it has a little bit of that spicy herbaceousness. It smells really good, making my mouth water. Let's get into it. Prost, everyone. Yes, yes, and yes. Body in this, it's 4.8%, and it has such like a, I would say this is almost full bodied for the ABV, right? For a 4.8% black lager. You know, realistically, it's like medium body, maybe even a touch over. It has a decent heft, despite being sub 5%, which is really awesome. It might impede the drinkability for some, but I think it would make me want to drink it more because it just has more of a heft. It has a, it's not watery, you know, it has something going on with the body that actually appeases me to some degree. The mouthfeel has a nice crisp sensation to it, so it's moderate in terms of carbonation. However, it is smooth and somewhat creamy on the palate. Beautiful body mouthfeel. Look at the glass lacing. The taste. I don't think this is like one of the more overly complex black lagers I've ever had, but what I got in the nose kind of carries over. A very mild roasted kind of malt quality. Get a little of that toasted brown bread characteristic. That cocoa, coffee, a little bit of caramel and fruitiness. Those are a little bit dialed back in the taste, more subdued and nuanced. And I think that's what I like about it, because I get those flavors just not over the top. Like this is, you know, it's kind of like you took a, you know, 8 to 10% imperial stout or imperial porter and kind of dumbed it down a bit. See, I told you about that English language sneaking in there, doing things to me. You dumb it down a little bit, right? You kind of rein it back a bit, and it becomes way more drinkable. And that's kind of what we have here, is a super drinkable imperial stout. No, not really. That's the first half palate. In the second half, I get that grassy, slightly spicy, almost herbaceous kind of hop characteristic. Not that big, but enough that it's noticeable. This finish is full on dry with a mild to moderate bitterness, more dry than bitter. Very well balanced from that aspect. Super clean beer. I mean, I just want to go back and continue to crush this. The beauty about this beer for me is that this is what Frequentem can do. They can make a fantastic German-style black lager. And then they can go and, you know, basically brew one of the new age crazy hype styles. And they do them all extremely well. I'm so happy that we have another great brewery here in Buffalo. There's a reason that both them and Mortalis opened up here in the Buffalo, New York area, and I'm so happy they have done so. I can't wait to get in that Just Fruit. Just, you know, again, one end of the spectrum to the other, and it's really cool to see. But this is just a really well. This is what I'll say. This is how I'll wrap this up. If you like this style and you're in New York State, more specifically in the West New York area, grab this beer. Done. That's all. Just grab this beer. It's really well made, really tasty. It's the second or third time I've had it, and it's just as good as I remember it being on tap. And it even has a little bit of like I know it's going to sound weird, maybe put some people off. A slight cola vibe, ever so slight, unlike the finish. But at the end of the day, I really do dig this beer, and congratulations to Frequentem opening up the new digs. I can't wait to check it out and get some beers on tap and see how the new location is doing. It seems like a lot of people are enjoying it. So anyway, rating on the black lager from Frequentem, I have absolutely no issues giving this beer right here a high 4.25 and go 4.3. I think this is extremely well made. I think this is a fantastic beer within the style. And again, one of the better lagers I've had from a West New York brewery, period. I've also on the channel reviewed, I think, their cream ale and maybe something else from them, but they do lagers extremely well. Like their lagers and their heavily fruited sours are the most sought after, at least here in the area of people that drink their stuff. I know a lot of people like those two styles specifically when it comes to Frequentem. Price point availability at the brewery, these are $14.99, or I think it's $15 a 4-pack. Bit steep, bit steep. A couple more bucks than I'd like to see, but $15 4-packs, not terrible. I mean, again, certain breweries are charging $17, $18 a 4-pack for some of their stuff. So 15, not terrible, but it is on the higher end of on the higher end for this style. I think I paid like $4 for that can to just get a single at a local bottle shop. That's fine, to try. But this is a beer that I definitely rather have a 4-pack of. And availability, it's Frequentem. You can get their stuff in West New York, bottle shops in Buffalo, Rochester, surrounding areas. You can get them at their brewery in Canandaigua or in Buffalo. And yeah, you might see drips and drabs outside, maybe towards Syracuse or whatever. If you're in New York State, you can grab their stuff. I don't know if they get on like Tavor or anything like that. I don't think they do online shipping either. So, but if you're in West New York and you haven't checked these guys out, please do so. They do great stuff. And yeah, so check back later today for that Just Fruit review. Like I said, I want to do a double feature kind of, you know, showcase Frequentem because they're new to the area. This is the second time I've done this West New York Wednesday double feature in the last 3 weeks. And I'm going to do it occasionally from time to time. I mentioned that before, that it's something that I will definitely do. Maybe even do them in the same review, but I kind of wanted to do these separate just because I'm not drinking them on the same day. Anyway, I appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here in the Beer Patrol. 4.8%, you can't taste it. And if you've had this one, post in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about it. What's your favorite German-style black lager, or maybe authentic German black lager from Germany? I would love to hear from you. So I appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. Check back a bit later again for the Just Fruit. I forget what variant I'm reviewing, but it's one of their variants. And check back next week for another West New York Wednesday. Every Wednesday, we review beers from the West New York area. That's kind of the whole gist of this. So anyway, till then, prost.